Hi everyone, welcome to Wealthy Mindset. My name is Oliver. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. Hope you guys are having a great day like always. And today I'm going to be covering BlackBerry, GameStop, AMC, Nokia, also the Dow Jones, so that way you get a feel of the overall market. This is for trading day March 1st, giving you guys the highs and lows, by the way, in terms of from analyzing the graph. Now, before I begin, like always, I'm not a financial advisor, like a quick disclaimer. So I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not a professional. And everything I do share with you guys is just my opinion. It's not advice. So do not buy and sell based off the information I do show you or the opinions I do form. Now, I do own shares in BlackBerry. I've been holding for six years. And also, by the way, if you're interested in terms of stocks, financial stuff, passive income, mortgages, credit scores, consider subscribing. It really helps our channel. Thank you so much. Okay, so I'm going to start off with the Dow Jones. But before I do, I'm going to talk about the stimulus bill that passed the House today. It's a $1.9 trillion stimulus bill. And they're trying to target it to pass the Senate as of March 14th. Now, there might be a little bit of difficulty because it's a 50-50 split in terms of both parties for the Senate, but we'll see what happens. I'm going to elaborate more. I'm going to probably try to post up a video today about this whole entire bill and what's the whole spiel, so be on the lookout for that. Now, for Dow Jones, the last time we closed off was at 30,932 at the last trading day. Now, for the new viewers, just quickly, like always, we have an upward trend resistance line dating back since the dot-com bubble, more specifically 1999. Upward trend support line, a resistance line right here, passed ever so slightly at the peak of the dot-com bubble at 2000 in the year 2000, had a false breakout, but then in January 2018, potentially had a false breakout, but either way back tested it, and then just before the pandemic, back tested it twice, had the pandemic right here, V-shaped recovery, created an upward trend support line right here with a or a touch point right here, touch point right here, touch point right here as well, and then was hoping, so I'm bullish for the overall market. Now, if you're interested to find out why, the video is going to pop up here. Highly encourage you to watch it. Still bullish, but these next 2 weeks are going to be critical, and I'm going to explain why. And tomorrow, I'm going to be posting a not a deep dive, but relatively a deep dive, an additional update like a 1.5 of the overall market. So if you're interested in that, consider subscribing so you can be notified when that video does come out for tomorrow. But so far, I was hoping we would bounce up to the upside from this. I would draw a line, but every single time I draw a line here, the line messes up. But we're supposed to bounce off this upward trend support line and go to the upside. But instead, we broke through so far. We could still bounce off up this resistance line, because these lines, even though they're resistance, they could act as support, right? So we could still bounce off to the upside, and that would be good. But we'll see what happens for the next 2 weeks. Now, if we want to have potentially a false breakout and we break through this line, that's fine. From what I calculated, it was about 30,620, 30,670, somewhere around there. If we fall below that, we're looking at a little bit of trouble. So possibly we could be looking at a correction for the market. So we'll see. Be on the lookout for tomorrow's video, though. I will be elaborating more on potentially either stock market correction or probably a stock market crash, but I'll be elaborating more. I'm still bullish though, so that's a hint for tomorrow's video, but I do see a possible correction for tomorrow, like for a little bit of the short-term future. So be on the lookout for that. Now, if we go a little bit closer though, you could see that basically we had a channel here, right? We had a resistance at this point, touch points, support through this channel, resistance through this channel. We did back test. Now this line's a little bit messed up once you zoom into the month chart, right? We're below both moving averages. MACD line's in the negative. If you move back to the 5-year trend line, MACD line is like crossing over to the negative, somewhat bouncing off. We'll see how it goes. But for the month moving chart, MACD line's in the negative. It's trying to come back up, but it gets shot down every single time. You can see those double shot, like pretty much taken down. Either way, below moving averages, could not actually spike up fully past this channel. Got shot down again, bounced off as support, shot down as resistance, came back down, and now here's the 2000 dot-com bubble kind of thing as an upward trend resistance line acting as support. So it is acting as support, so that's good. The only thing is though, if we break through, it's not a good sign. So hopefully we bounce up to the upside. Still a chance, and we'll see. But I'll keep you guys posted. Again, be on the lookout for tomorrow's video. It'll be more of a deep dive of this. I just want to give a feel of how the market could be going for potentially tomorrow. So it could be bouncing up, it could be breaking. We'll see. It's pretty critical for the next 2 weeks. Now for BlackBerry is very interesting. So if you've been on this channel before, you've noticed that I've showed this upward trend support line dating back since October 2020, backtested in November, backtested in December, backtested in January 2021. Now, the issue is, let me see, is this the month chart? Yeah. The issue is it had a false breakout and then it actually broke through. And this downward trend resistance line actually held true. Unfortunately, I thought this downward trend resistance line would have been broken pretty easily, but it's still keeping us down. MACD line did cross over to positive, so there is a chance it could reverse the upside. The only thing is though, we have to make sure that we actually do hold this $10 support line. So there's quite a bit of support at the $10, $10.02, $10.05, $10.11, $10.12, but hopefully it holds around here. Obviously, if it goes up higher, hopefully holds above that. There's a chance we could bounce off and have a little bit of potential false breakout at the 995. But if we break through that, then we're just pretty much headed to this level. I'll elaborate more on these levels, but I want to show something significant before I get to that. So if you've been on the channel, actually, if you've seen my roadmap to $180 per share price prediction video, this is not relatively new to you guys, but there's a reason I'm showing this in this video. Again, I'm still bullish for the stock, but it's a little bit of bumpy road, possibly, but then there's a silver lining to potentially what could be happening. So right here is the all-time high in 2008. And you can see this downward trend resistance line back testing right here, or like a touch point right here in 2008, and then touch point right here in 2011, multiple touch points in 2018 and 2019. Yeah, 2019 right there. So multiple touch points. So its actual resistance line kept us down. Then we did pass it recently, which was awesome in the past few months. And then we came back down, back tested as a support line. So that's even more ideal. Then we potentially created an upward trend support line, potentially. The reason I'm saying potentially is because there's only one touch point right here, second touch point right here. We don't have a third touch point. So there's a chance we could actually make it as an actual upward trend support line, right? So not only do we have that October 2020 and like November, December, and January 2021 upward trend support line to carry us through, which if you watched my video, I believe 2 days ago or yesterday, I showed that the lowest we could go and we could still go on that upward trend support line is $8.02 and $7.98. I believe that was it. I'm actually have to go rewatch it myself, but hopefully that is the lowest, right? Now, but if you think that this upward trend support line is gonna hold true, there's a chance you could call the bottom, right? Now it's not guaranteed because there's only 2 touch points, but if you think that this upward trend support line is gonna hold true, then we could be looking at the bottom being before, like, these won't be in play then. So the one that will be in play would be around, basically when I measured it, it was the $9.63. So this one is really good support. It's $9.63. If I actually, maybe I should show, actually, I don't know. I'll show it another time. I know I said that in the previous video. I will show it another time. Maybe I might show it in this video a little bit later on. But there's about 3 like good touch points for $9.63 throughout the past in history. I believe it was in 2015 or something like that. So $9.63 is quite a bit of good support. There could be a false breakout at 955 and 950, so that would still be intact, and we would be, hopefully, what we're looking for is not just to hit those levels. Obviously, we could hit those levels. What we're looking for is to bounce up to the upside. So let's just say we come down and we bounce back up to the upside. Again, this line should not be going like that. It's no squiggly lines or something like that. It's supposed to be like a clean line. I don't know, I must have messed up with some kind of setting, but hopefully we touch, like, the lowest is 950. I'm hoping we bounce at the 963 and have a nice clean bounce to the upside. The only thing is though, so now if we break down below this level, 950, again, I am bullish in overall the long term for BlackBerry. So just in case if you're thinking I'm not still bullish, I am still bullish, but in like optimistic essentially. But if we do break this level, specifically 950, I would say, because then that would be past the false breakout, then we're heading down to the 931, which is good support. And then the $9, like 931, 940, but essentially I guess 931. If we break down through this level, then we're going to start trickling down to these levels, right? So I've talked about it in my past video, $9.12, $9 is like $9.12 is really good support as well, but I don't know if it's good enough to hold. $9 would be the next. This range is basically around the same like group, so anywhere here would be fair game. Then the 888, like always, if you're a long-term investor, you know about the $8.88 support / resistance level that nonstop happened throughout the past. Then 848, and I believe this was the utmost lowest, like I showed in my previous video. So the reason why, okay, so now let's get to what's going to happen for the next, like March 1st, right? So we did break it, unfortunately, right? Now, if I go, this is the logarithmic view, just to let you know. So if we go the algorithmic view, this is what the whole spiel is. I'm going to delete this line right here so that way you guys can see it more clearly. So in terms of logarithmic view, you can see that we have more room to get down, hypothetically more room to go down, which is not obviously ideal. Nobody wants to go down. So if we go down, I'm going to cover the upside too. It's not just the downside and the consolidation period if they were consolidating. Is if we go down from what I measured, I believe it was $8.02. Let's see. Okay, so it's kind of not showing, but I believe it's $8.02. But now it's not going to trickle down that fast. Again, like I stated, there's support 963. I'm hoping we bounce up on that side. 931 is pretty good support. 912, this range is pretty good support. This is the range where I'm kind of worried about. If we break through 888, then I think we'd be going down. There is support, by the way, between all these levels, but these are the major supports that I could see. I believe there was like support at 830, but I can't remember exactly right now. So that would be the whole spiel. The only thing is, though, obviously, in my opinion, would not happen all today. This is more for the long-term kind of play. Like if it trickled down, it would not be a steep drop. Just to let you know, it would be like almost like this. It would drop, then consolidate, drop, and consolidate, drop, consolidate, and probably bounce and all that stuff, right? Ultimately, meaning at one point where, if it does, we want it to bounce up. That's the play, right? Unless we break the support line, then we're in trouble, right? And then keep in mind too, like I said in the previous video, is if the longer we get to this point right here, the higher the price point goes. So if we take quite a while, let's say meet up here by mid-March or end of March, then these levels won't be in play anymore, because then those levels would start breaking the support level. And then the lowest we would go is probably, let's say 888 or maybe even $9. So just keep that in mind. Okay, so now if you think that we're going to reverse to the upside, which there is a chance, right? Because MACD line did cross, it's ever so slightly in the positive right there, you can see, and you can see these green graph points that are showing it's indicating in the positive. There is quite a bit of support, like I stated earlier, at the $10 price point, 10.02, 10.05, and if we bounce back up to 10.11, we could have support there. Now, if you want count for false breakout, 9.95 I think would be hypothetically the lowest as a false breakout. You can see it happened here previously if you look at the logarithmic view. Now, you're ideally looking to break through this downward trend resistance line that's been keeping us down that you can see, right? And now it's not the cleanest point, but it has 1, 2, 3 touch points right here, and then 2 more touch points right here, so 5 total. But you want to break through this. You could break through it during the pre-market, and then if it does break through pre-market, hopefully it's not just a false breakthrough, because what could happen is during pre-market it breaks through, but then gets shot down by this support line that dates back since October 2020, but then it could just get shut down. But even if it does, actually it's not a big deal as long as it stays above this resistance line. Then this resistance line could act as support and you can just keep going up. So, but what could happen is you could be ultimately in a good long consolidation period, but maybe not that long, because what's going to happen is if you consolidate, you'll be consolidating between the $10 price point and then back to the 1037-ish, 1030 I would say, because then you have this downward trend resistance line that's going to keep you down, that dates back from February 08. Technically a little bit longer if I actually drew the line longer, but from what I've measured in touch points, February 8th, 2020. So that keep you down. And then also you have this a downward trend resistance line that dates back since January 25th. So right here, touch points a couple times. Some of them are not clean touch points, but some of them are. Touch points right here, and you're just going down. So you have the next few days are going to be critical, definitely for sure. So you could have potentially a consolidation period / breaking through the resistance levels for the next few trading days between $10, maybe $9.95, hopefully not, but maybe $9.95 to $10.37 between there, $10.30. Now, if you think ultimately we're going to just keep shooting up and just go through these resistance levels, awesome, that'd be great. Hopefully it does. And if it does, then these are the upward support levels that you need to, or resistance levels that you need to start breaking. So again, 1027, or I didn't mention it right now, but I've mentioned it in the past. 1027 is quite a bit of resistance. 1037 obviously. Then the next level is 1044, 1054. There is a bunch of resistance levels between this level, but ultimately we need to pass 1092. So that way we could get into the ballpark. If we pass 1092 and actually pass it fully, we could start getting back up to the $11, but not necessarily $11. $11.02, $11.40, and $11.05. We need to get back up to that range and pass those levels. Now, if you want to know the resistance levels between this, The resistance levels is there was like a 1069, 1072, 1075, 1083, 1088, and then a little bit at 1090. So those are it. The 1088 is quite a bit of strong resistance. You can see even 1082 was quite a bit of resistance right there. Even 1072, 1074, 1075. But those ones, even if we pass them, we could get brought down because there was quite a bit of resistance I saw at the 1092. So just keep that in mind. If we pass 1104, 1105, I'll keep you guys posted, and I'll comment down below like always, and I'll pin it so that way you guys can see what it is. Now for GameStop, it's very interesting. I'm going to get back to this part just because I need to show some stuff for the new viewers just in case. Is we had an upward trend support line dating back since September 2020, and then it goes all the way here, broke through it unfortunately during February timeframe, mid-February, and then we had an upward trend support line dating back since December 2020, and we came down to it, had a false breakout, and then went back up. But the thing is though, it's justifiable to have a false breakout during that time because we had a downward trend line dating back since the peak of when was this? January 28th, January 27th at the $483 price point. Downward trend resistance line, broke through it, obviously had issues breaking through it, and then we back tested on it too as well. Went up to the upside, that was perfect. And then we were staying above that upward trend support line. We had a couple like small false breakouts, not a big deal. Then we created an upward trend support line right here. And actually, like I drew this in the beginning, I believe in the like 100% previous video, but I stated that there was only 2 touch points, and I don't know if this was going to hold true, right? Now it looks like it is holding true, which is crazy. And we had it down. Now we spiked up, by the way, went past the moving averages, and then not even just that, we went back up above the support line. Now the support line technically could be in play, which is good, and I'm going to explain a little bit further later on, but we peaked up, went above. The only thing is, the problem is we didn't really necessarily break through the actual resistance levels that we had to break. Not a big deal. Hopefully we bounce up back up to the upside. We came down, created a downward trend resistance line. Kind of worried about this one, but we'll see. We have this upward trend support line. So now we're between the short moving average and the long moving average. We're above the long moving average, so that's good. And we're below the short one. So now it depends on the pre-market. So for the pre-market tomorrow or on Monday, is if we open above and hopefully don't get shot down by this downward trend resistance line, we could hypothetically be continuing up on this upward trend support line. Even if we do this and then during pre-market and then come back to, actually no, never mind, scratch that, because then we're just going to be shot down by this moving average. By the time we open, we're probably going to get shot down. And then you're looking at hopefully bouncing off the $85.34, I guess, and hopefully breaking through. But that is one play, but we'll see how that happens. Just keep that in mind. That is a possibility, by the way. So if you think by pre-market it's actually going to break through, I'm going to cover the upside, and then I'm going to cover the downside, and I'm going to cover the consolidation period, or like the phase if you think it's going to consolidate. But if it goes to the upside, you have quite a bit of support at $100. That's why I'm kind of optimistic that it could reverse to the upside. Quite a bit of support at $100, even though we did break through it a couple times. I'll explain a little bit more. But then you have support at the $112, $118. Now, the $118 to $130, there's quite a bit of issue. You could get shot down by, there's resistance at the $130, 127, 125, plus you have the long or short-term moving average that could knock you down anywhere between the $120 and $127. It depends on where it is throughout the day, right? So that could knock you down. But if you clear that, then and you continue on the upward trend support line, you're in good shape, because you're going to have to pass 137. Once you do, you're technically in the clear, but then you're at the resistance levels that you need to break through. So 120, 142 to 100, or 140 to 142. I don't know why I have it backwards. I wrote all of them backwards, but not a big deal. Then the next level is 150 to 157, and then the 170 to 177. Now, it's going to be quite difficult to break through all those. If you do break through those and you're optimistic you're going to break through those, the next levels you're looking at is 100, basically 199 and not 196. Essentially $200. Once you break through that, the next level you're looking at is 233, 234, and then 252. Now I'm adding this because this was good support, like I stated in the last video. The only thing is though, I noticed that there's also quite a bit of support at the 254, 253, somewhere around there. Where was it? If I could actually get it right. I guess 260. So you're going to have issues at 253, 254, but the 260, so that way you could cover the false breakouts too. Then you're good. because yeah, you have more support obviously to the upside and all that stuff, but you'll start going to the more higher like $100 ranges, so that's good. But I don't think essentially you guys are going to be flying that fast. Hopefully you do, but I'm not that crazy optimistic, even though I'm optimistic, but we'll see. Take everything with a grain of salt, by the way. Nobody knows for sure. Now, if you go to the downside, what's going to happen is you have support at the $86, even though, like I stated in the previous video, you do have support in the $97, $93. The only thing is, though, it's not the strongest support. And like I don't think I've changed this from the previous video, but $86.42. It did hit $86 clean, though, regardless. But again, these are not exact dead-on numbers, so take everything with a grain of salt. And then hopefully you guys stay above that $86. If you do not stay above that, I think you could get shot down to the $70 support level. Now, there is quite a bit of support that's going to be happening between the $67 and $73 because of this moving average. What could happen is by the time this moves throughout the day, depending, it could just be going up high or going a little bit lower, but it's going to be between the $67, $73, and hopefully you bounce up to the upside once you do and break through this downward trend resistance line. There's a chance you could get shot back down, though, and then just start breaking down, coming down. Now, if that does happen, then the next support level you're looking at is $63. And if you think that you're going to hit this upward trend support line moving average, now the thing is, it is back in play, right? Because we passed above it. The only thing is, though, we need to make sure and solidify it's actually back in play. And to do that, we need to bounce up to the upside and hopefully don't come back down. And even if we do come back down, bounce up and break through this downward trend resistance line. So either way, we need to bounce off it regardless at any point to make sure it actually is back in play fully. And if it does touch this upward trend support line throughout the day, the lowest would be $61.11. I think I measured even $61.48, but around there, plus or minus either a couple cents or $1, somewhere around there. Now, if we go lower than that, I don't think we will, but if we do, I'll keep you posted. There's multiple support levels, and plus we have this downward trend or upward trend support line to fall back on as well. That, to me, is pretty good, even though we had a couple of false breakouts. It's still in play. So that's the spiel for GameStop. Hopefully, best of luck. Hopefully, you guys do really well. Hopefully, it all goes up to the upside, but we'll see. And then in terms of consolidation, I think it still holds through. If you consolidate, you're looking at consolidating between $84, I guess 86, but $84 and $118. I wanted to say 112, but 114, 118. You could be optimistic a little bit and say 118. So now for AMC, also interesting stuff for sure, to say the least. And if you're new to the channel, just showing for the new viewers, we had a downward trend resistance line dating back since I believe it was 2016. And then what happened is you guys had not a false breakout, but false breakout. You went up to the upside and you almost cleared it, but the problem is technically got shot down by the moving average, long moving average, came back down. Now you're reversing to the upside and trying to pass this. You did pass it ever so slightly, but you got pretty much a little bit shot down temporarily, but we'll see how it goes in play. And I'm going to elaborate a little bit more now for the month. Okay, so technically you guys are still in good shape because you have this upward trend support line dating back since January 2021, so on and so forth. Had a bunch of touch points right there. Touch points since, mid-February. So you guys had a downward trend resistance line, but you guys broke through it, consolidated, and now reversed to the upside. You had this upward trend support line and passed this resistance line, and then you could see you back tested it, if I could get it clean, but back tested it twice, came back down, broke through the support line, broke through the short-term moving average. Now the MACD line is in the positive, so that is good. You're above the moving average, so that is good too. The long one, sorry about that. Long moving average, so that is good. And then you created, which is pretty crazy, an upward trend support line as well. So I'm kind of optimistic for March 1st. Not crazy, but overall kind of optimistic, because what's happening is you have this touch point right here as resistance, touch point here as support, and touch point here as support, right? So you could continue to the upside. Now, you might get shot down by the short moving average, but we'll see. Now, in terms of levels that you need to be concerned about, by the way, you close at $8.01, but you need to pass $8.24, $8.28 as resistance. Then next level is $8.34, $8.39, then $8.50. Now, this to me is the biggest one. So $8.79 or $8.97. Sorry about that. If I'm misspeaking, hopefully you guys can see the levels or the prices. But $8.79 and $8.99 to $9, somewhere between $8.99 to $9.03, somewhere around this level. This is going to be a pretty big task to pass. if you do pass it, the next level that you might get shot down is 912, 913, and then ultimately this. I do not think you guys are going to pass this at all for the next March 1st, but if you do, great sign. That puts you above this line, which is awesome. So 973 pretty much could get shot down, and then 1005. But if you're not optimistic and you don't think you're going to head up and you're just going to get shot down and then like go to the downside, the downside, well, essentially you do have support, quite a bit of support at the $8 price point. Or actually, no, sorry about that, not $8 price point. What was it? 766, right? Yeah, okay. So 763, 766. Obviously, you have support between that, but hopefully bounce up from that 863, 766, which would bounce you off this upward trend support line, I guess. But to be exact, is 772, 773, right? And it keeps going up as you go. So hopefully you don't break 773 to continue this upward trend support line. But if you do, you have quite a bit of support at 766, 763. And then you have support at 736, 720, 703, and 692. This 692 right here is the if you believe that it's not going to break this upward trend support line, which I think it will hold true. It won't break that upward trend support line. If what's going to happen is too, you actually have both things. You have this long moving average that is going to help you, and you have the upward trend support line. So even if you did break, let's just say get shot down by that moving average right there, come back down, whatever, I don't know, for some reason break through, and then bounce up, and then whatever, hopefully go to the upside like that, right? So I think the utmost lowest, if you think this is going to hold true, is 692 on March 1st. It doesn't necessarily have to be on that day. And then if you do go to the downside, you would be trickling down through these levels. Now, just in case if you don't, you want to know the between levels between all this stuff, the support levels that you have is roughly about 789. Let me see, is this? So, okay, 810, a little bit of the resistance, but 790, 789, and then you have 760. Okay, so I guess not that much support between that, and then just, I guess probably that's why I didn't include it. So 790, 789, and then you start coming to these support levels right here. But yeah, hopefully you guys do pretty well, and hopefully you guys don't get knocked down that much. Now for Nokia is pretty interesting as well. Just in case for the new viewers too, like always, I'm just going to cover this. So you guys have a double downward trend resistance line that I've shown in the past, dating back since like 2000, 2001, all the way through here. Now you guys did back test it recently. This was in August 2020. And then you guys are trying to get back up to it and hopefully pass it. Now you have an upward trend support line as well. And the thing is though, what could be in play is you guys might be coming back down to hope, like if you do come down, hopefully back test it and go up to the upside, right? And then start trying to break through that resistance level. But we'll see. In the meantime though, for what could happen is you guys had a downward trend resistance line, you broke through it, had an upward trend support line, unfortunately broke through that though. Now you're below both moving averages, but the MACD line is like passed over to positive ever so slightly. So there is a chance. The only thing is though, technically I probably should have drew it. You have a downward trend resistance line. It's not the cleanest, probably that's why I didn't draw it. But I think what might happen is you guys might be consolidating between these levels. So where was it? Yeah, so essentially the lowest I could see, actually, I'm going to go through consolidation first. So the reason why I think you guys are going to consolidate between like 391, maybe even 390 to 395, and then you might have, yeah, so 391 to 395 is because right here, you guys consolidated for quite a while, almost two trading days, day and a half trading day. So I think that might happen on March 1st. Now, if you go to the downside, to be honest, I think the lowest is going to be 388. There is a chance you could, well, not the lowest, but like 388, you have quite a bit of support. So that is good. There's a chance that that might be the lowest. If you do go lower, it goes in 2 cents increments. I don't know why. 386, 384, 382, and 380. The other day you did hit 383 as the lowest, so that could be in play, back in play. Now, if you go to the upside though, you have quite a bit of resistance at 398, which is support as well though. So support and resistance at 398, and then you have the $4 is going to be pretty difficult task. I don't think you guys are going to get to $4. You might close at $4 if you're extremely optimistic, but if you do, then you're looking in good shape, and you need to pass $4.02, $4.03. But those are all the difficult levels that are going to happen. Now, if you think it's going to cross over to, like, MACD line is crossover to the positive, but if you think it's going to go to the positive, then you're banking on probably this is going to be support line or some kind of support line is going to happen here. But I think this is quite a bit steep to the pretty steep upside support. So it might be something like this, and maybe it's going to come down right here to like 393, or where is it? Actually, yeah, 393. I guess after hours was pretty positive. I didn't pay attention fully, but hopefully it bounces up to the upside like that, even if it comes down towards that angle. But we'll see what happens. Hopefully, best of luck. But I think overall, you guys are still in good shape, given all the stuff I showed in with the upward trend support lines and all that stuff. So that's pretty much it for the video. Thanks again for watching, like always. And if you do like the video, consider dropping a like. It really helps out the channel. And if you do like videos in terms of passive income, mortgages, credit scores, and stocks overall and financial stuff, consider subscribing. Helps our channel a lot. Really appreciate it. And if you have any questions, like always, do not hesitate to ask, and I'll try to answer them as soon as possible. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.